Do you have that person in your life, the one who leaves you feeling like you need to scrub, not just your hands, but your brain too, after talking to them? An energy vampire, a drama king or queen, or just a perpetual critic? We call them toxic people, and it often feels like they're a 21st century invention. But what if I told you that people faced this very problem 2,000 years ago, and they didn't just face it, they developed an entire system of psychological defense, a system used by emperors, slaves, generals, and playwrights alike. Today, we're going to delve into the arsenal of the ancient Stoics and discover how these masters of self-control dealt with the most unbearable people. And I promise you, some of their methods will surprise you with their simplicity and brilliance. So let's transport ourselves back to ancient Greece and Rome. Imagine a world without therapists or life coaches, a world where life was full of chaos, wars, and sudden turns of fate. It was precisely in such conditions that Stoicism was born. Contrary to popular myth, the Stoics were not emotionless robots who suppressed all their feelings. Quite the opposite, they were practitioners who sought to understand their emotions so they wouldn't let them control their lives. Their main goal was inner peace, or ataraxia, and they understood that the biggest source of disturbance, or distress, came from other people. The main principle you need to know is as simple as it is brilliant. We cannot control external events and other people, but we can always control our reaction to them. The entire philosophy of Stoicism, when applied to our problem, is built on this foundation. So how did Stoics put their philosophy into action? Where does the path to unshakable tranquility begin? With one simple yet incredibly powerful exercise. Philosophers called it the Dichotomy of Control, but we'll call it something simpler, the separation of power. Imagine drawing an invisible line. On one side of this line is everything you cannot control. The weather, the past, and most importantly, the thoughts, words and actions of other people. Their bad mood, their criticism, their attempts to provoke you, all of it lies beyond that line. That's their domain, not yours. You cannot change it. And on the other side of the line is your own empire. This is the only thing over which you have 100% control. Your thoughts, your judgments, your decisions, and your actions. Only you decide how to interpret other people's words. Only you choose whether to take offence, get angry, or simply ignore them. When a toxic person tries to throw you off balance, a Stoic immediately applies this filter. They ask themselves, is what's happening right now within my control? A colleague's behaviour? No. Their cutting comment? No. But my reaction to that comment? Yes, absolutely. This simple question immediately shifts your focus. You stop wasting energy fighting the windmills of other people's behaviour. You direct all your power toward controlling the only thing you can control, yourself. Emperor Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man of his time, constantly reminded himself of this. He understood that even his power didn't extend to the minds of other people, and in this realization, there's not weakness, but immense liberating power. All right, we've established the concept of control, what's within our power and what isn't. But what do we do about those emotions that still inevitably surge to the surface? This is where the Stoics introduce their second, equally powerful tool, the power of our perception. It's even simpler here. Remember the famous quote attributed to the philosopher Epictetus, "It's not things that disturb us, but our interpretation of their significance." Just pause and consider that for a moment. It's not the event itself, or someone else's words, that truly hurts you. It's your evaluation of it, your judgment. Let's take a practical example. Imagine a colleague in a meeting says, "That's not your strongest idea." Objectively, what just happened? Someone expressed an opinion. It's merely a piece of information, but in your mind, an entire drama can instantly unfold. He thinks I'm stupid, he's undermining my authority. Now everyone thinks I'm incompetent. This internal drama, this movie playing in your head, that is the true source of your distress, not your colleague's actual words. In this situation, a Stoic aims to be an impartial reporter. They simply note the fact, my colleague expressed doubt about my idea. That's it. Full stop. They don't attach labels like insult, humiliation, or catastrophe to that fact. By separating the objective event from your subjective judgment, you effectively disarm its power. You see it as just an event, not a personal attack. This ability to see things for what they truly are isn't about suppressing emotions. It's a deliberate choice not to generate them needlessly in the first place. Okay, so we've learned to separate facts from emotions, but what if a problem feels truly overwhelming? What if a conflict with your boss or an argument with a loved one consumes your entire mind and makes it hard to breathe? This is where the Stoics suggest we engage astronaut mode, or what they call the cosmic perspective, also known as the view from above. It's a purely mental exercise, but its effect is profound. When something troubles you, visualize yourself slowly rising above the situation. First, you see your room, then your house, your street, your city. You ascend higher and higher until the entire country spreads out like a geographical map below you. But don't stop there. Keep going. Now, our planet is a small, fragile blue marble suspended in the vast blackness of space. And now, pull back even further. Planets whiz by as you encompass our entire solar system, then the Milky Way galaxy with its billions of stars. And now, our galaxy is merely one of countless billions in the boundless, eternal universe. Now, from this cosmic vantage point, try to spot your problem, that unpleasant conversation, that biting remark. Where is it? On a cosmic scale, it's not even a speck of dust. It simply vanishes. This technique doesn't invalidate your feelings. It simply places them in the right context. It shows your ego that the world doesn't revolve around this petty grievance. From this orbital height, the words of a toxic person don't sound nearly as intimidating. Now let's talk about the most paradoxical yet powerful Stoic technique. One that seems illogical, yet can completely disarm any aggressor. When someone tries to provoke you, instinct demands defense or retaliation. But Stoics propose something radically different. Empathy. How? Why show empathy to someone who's hurting you? It all stems from the Stoic diagnosis of human toxicity. They believe people behave poorly not because they are inherently evil, but because they are profoundly mistaken about what is good and what is bad. They are like a person trying to quench their thirst by drinking a glass of salt water. They believe it will help, but in reality, it only deepens their suffering. Similarly, a toxic person genuinely believes that by demeaning others, complaining or manipulating, they will achieve something. But in truth, they only sink deeper into their own misery. They primarily harm themselves. When you view an aggressor through this lens, a transformation occurs. Your anger dissipates. Resentment gives way to something akin to compassion. Before you is no longer an all-powerful enemy, but an ignorant and suffering individual. It's crucial to understand. This doesn't mean you should tolerate their behaviour. Boundaries are still essential, but you protect them not out of hatred, but from a place of calm understanding. You simply refuse to drink the poison from the cup they offer, because you see it has already poisoned the one holding it. Now for arguably the most surprising and practical piece of advice that has come down to us through the ages. It wasn't left by just any philosopher, but by the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius himself. Imagine the most powerful man in the world, someone who, day in and day out, dealt with plots, treachery, flattery, and sheer human folly. Well, this man, upon waking each morning, would engage in a very specific type of mental preparation. He'd tell himself something along these lines. Today I will encounter people who are intrusive, ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, and quarrelsome. Quite a revelation, isn't it? Instead of positive affirmations, a stark list of human vices. But that precisely is the genius of it. This isn't pessimism. It's a psychological inoculation. Marcus Aurelius didn't delude himself into hoping everyone would be sweet and kind. He prepared for reality. And so, when throughout his day he inevitably encountered such a person, he wasn't swept away by anger or shock. His reaction was one of calm recognition. Ah, there's one of them. I was ready for this. He preemptively disarmed toxic individuals of their greatest weapon, the element of surprise. He refused to let the ignorance of others breach his inner citadel. This, in essence, is the pinnacle of Stoicism, not attempting to change the world, but rather preparing yourself for it. It's about building an internal fortress so formidable that no insult or affront can ever lay siege to it. But perhaps the most profound and practical advice of all comes from the Roman emperor, Marcus Aurelius. Imagine the most powerful man in the world who, every morning upon waking, would tell himself something along these lines. Today I will encounter people who are annoying, ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, and disagreeable. Talk about a mindset shift, right? He wasn't expecting everyone to be kind. He was bracing himself for the worst. This isn't pessimism, it's a psychological inoculation. He was proactively preparing his mind to confront human flaws. And when it happened, he wasn't caught off guard. His reaction wasn't irritation. It was a calm recognition. Ah, here it is. I was prepared for this. He wouldn't let others' ignorance disrupt his inner tranquility. This is the true essence of Stoicism. So, to sum it up, the Stoics teach us that the key to dealing with toxic people isn't about them, but about us. The power lies not in changing them, but in preventing them from changing you. It's about controlling your perception, shifting your perspective, and even a touch of empathy. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this glimpse into the world of ancient wisdom, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new episodes. Now, a question for you. Which of these Stoic pieces of advice did you find most useful and applicable in your own life? Or perhaps you're already applying something similar without even realizing it's Stoicism. Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to read them.